shade tree fix-it man. This time I need a little helping hand. I'm a jack of all trades when I'm working in the shade. I'm a shade tree fix-it man. Yeah, I need a helping hand this time, guys and gals. I have a problem. And let me swing you down in there and zero in on that problem. The problem is down here on my workbench, right there. Okay, so here is the problem. You notice that my pack rat is no longer the same color that it was you saw in the last video. It actually has a little more sparkle to it now than it did before. But here's the problem. I've painted it twice since that last video you saw. And I have not had hardly any experience. Well, the only experience I've had with acrylic paints on my bodies is what I've done on this one. And I have had one failure after another. And here's what I've been using. Those three, and then of course Future for my clear coat over the top. Now here's my question. The last time I sprayed it, this has this extreme glitter on it. That's what's on it now. That's all that's on it now. Well, I shouldn't say that's all that's on it. It actually has a little bit of this white pearl mixed into it, which is kind of giving it that pinky sheen. Then the next step that I want to take will be to lay on this Createx transparent red, which will bring it back to my original deep cranberry red metallic metal flake pearl, whatever you want to call it. And then after that I will put the clear coat with the Future. Well, I've done that once. The last time around I did it without the pearl. I've done it 3 times now. This is my 4th time around. And the last time, because of using the extreme glitter, which is quite thick, and as you can see there's quite a bit of texture to it there, I have to use quite a bit to get it to flatten out. And I had it looking nice and shiny on top, and the sides still had a fair amount of orange peel on it. I had waited for at least 24 hours, and I had been using hair dryer in between coats. I do have to say that I probably had total between the extreme glitter and then the Createx and then the Future, I probably had 20 or more coats of paint on there. So it was thicker than normal, though I was using an airbrush, so I wasn't laying it on real heavy each coat. But because it still had a fair amount of orange peel on it, I wanted to sand it, and I wanted to wet sand it, and that was the mistake. As soon as I started wet sanding both the Future and the Createx, which were the last 2 layers, just started washing off. And then the layer under that, which was the extreme glitter, that started coming off like rubber cement. So my question is this: was it just a matter of not allowing it to cure long enough, or can I not wet sand this acrylic paint at all? What's the story? My intent this time around, So I'm going to try it one more time. If it doesn't work this time, then I'm going to go back to automotive paint. My intent this time is I'm going to let this layer, which this probably has 10 coats of the extreme glitter mixed with the pearl white, and I used window cleaner for the thinner. I'm going to let this dry for a week, and then come this weekend, or I'm going to let it dry for 5 days anyway. Then come this weekend, I'm going to spray 2 or 3 coats, whatever it takes to get the color that I want of this Createx transparent red. And then I'm going to let that dry for another 4 or 5 days, and then I'm going to put the Future on it again. And I'm going to let that dry for another 4 or 5 days. And with all of these layers of paint, I'm using the hair dryer in between each layer to get it to flash off quickly, and hopefully to get it to cure faster. My intent this time is to get it plenty of curing time. Is 5 days going to be enough curing time? And after I'm done, can I still wet sand it, or is wet sanding a no-no with acrylic paints? So some of you guys that have more experience in this than I do, I'd appreciate your commenting below and giving an answer. So I have bought a fair amount of these acrylic paints with the intent of using them on my model cars. After I get this Hubley done, my next kit probably is going to be this Monogram. Let me back you out here a little bit if I can. I guess I can't. This is a Monogram Green Hornet. The box is an original from back in the 60s. The model itself is actually a repop from the 90s. But it's going to be modified. It's not going to be built green. And it will have the original rubber wheels and tires on instead of the plastic ones they use in the repops. And a little more detailing than normal. Anyway, before I get into that one, I want to know what I'm doing with this acrylic paint. And if I can't use the acrylic, like I said, I'll go back to the automotive. So thanks for any advice and any pointers and suggestions you can make. Until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thank you so much. Bye now.